All right, well, thank you, everyone. I'm very excited to be here tonight, and thank you to AGC for having me. I get the privilege and the blessing to be able to speak in front of a lot of people, but I don't do it as a professional speaker. My husband, Brian, and I, who's in the audience tonight, we speak and train for our businesses. We own 2 different businesses, and we speak and train a volunteer army. And so, although I'm not a professional speaker, I speak to a lot of people, and over the years, we've learned what makes people tick, what gets people stuck, what keeps people playing small. And so I'm really excited. Tonight, I actually created this keynote just for AGC. So this is the first time I've ever done this. For real. Thank you. All right, so take it easy on me, all right? And, we can have some back and forth and have some fun here. So my goal is to help you get to the next level. The things that I'm going to teach you tonight, it's going to happen fast, like Travis said, but you can always come back. I want you to take 2 nuggets where you go, oh, wow, you have that aha, and you can apply it. Don't try to learn it all tonight, okay? And but what I'm going to teach you tonight is what's allowed us to get into the top 0.5% worldwide in our profession. I will tell you this. I'm very average in many of the things us entrepreneurs have to do. I am. I'm very average. But in what I'm about to teach you is what I believe gives me the edge and what has allowed us to create the success that we've been able to create. Happiness and the lifestyle, because success isn't all about money, is it? It's about being happy, being fulfilled, and giving value to the world. So if you look at your current level of success, where are you at right now? We're coming to the end of 2019, and a lot of people are going, okay, New Year's Day is coming, that New Year's coming, but we also have a new decade. So how many of you want to get to the next level in various areas of life in 2020? How many of you really want to get to the next level? Okay, how many of you want life to look different next year and the next 10 years as it did now? Okay, awesome. So if you look at where you're at right now, there's a cycle that's created that. And it starts with our beliefs and our thoughts. Did you know that the beliefs that we carry, that we hold to be true, create our thoughts? Our thoughts then go on to create how we feel, how we respond in situations, how we react, whether we take action or we don't. It all stems from the beliefs and the thoughts, and then we get the results that we've gotten. So if we look back at 2019 and we say, okay, here's our results, that reinforces our belief. See, that's the trick. The belief is the linchpin, but the results that you look at on a day-to-day basis reinforce those beliefs. And you want to know what's even more unfair? Is that those beliefs that create and shape our current reality. So you can look at relationships, your health, your business, your life. Those beliefs are set in stone by the time we're 7 years old. So our subconscious mind is programmed from the age 0 to 6, 7-ish. So the people you spent the most time with at that age, not necessarily what you heard, things you heard, but things you saw, things you experienced, the way you felt, the way you perceived situations created those beliefs and those thoughts. Why is that important? Okay, so let's look at what happens on a day-to-day basis, because if we want to get somewhere we've never been before in 2020, so we want to get to that next level, we've got to learn how to break that pattern and how to shake things up, okay? But on a day-to-day basis, we're thinking about 60,000 thoughts on a day-to-day basis. 80%, this is what science has found, 80% are negative and 95% are redundant. So if our beliefs and our thoughts are creating our business outcome, and 95% of them are the thoughts you thought yesterday and last week and the month before and the year before, that's how we get stuck in Groundhog Day. where it's like, man, the same thing keeps happening over and over and over again. And why does that happen? Because it's easy to think and slip into that negativity. You could say, oh, yep, I'm going to have an awesome day. I'm going to be positive. I'm aware of, when my mind starts to go down the rabbit hole. And you're having this amazing day, and then someone cuts you off in traffic. And what happens? If you're me, it's like, right? And now all of a sudden, it's easier to think negatively than it is to think positively, and that's become our habitual pattern. And so society, culture, we're programmed to think this way. So we have to break that cycle, and we have to learn how to retrain and reprogram our brains. And ladies and gentlemen, I challenge you to take a couple pieces of this talk tonight for yourselves, but model it for your children. That's how we can really create change in this world, is to be a good example. So our brain is a goal-achieving machine. So now we know that we're thinking 60,000 thoughts a day. About 80% of them are negative, 95% are redundant, old pattern thinking. What does that do to the things that we recognize and the pulling power that we create on a daily basis? How many of you have heard of the law of attraction? Okay, almost everybody in this room. Well, this actually is real, and what science found was we have a system in our brain. So our brain, our conscious brain, so when you say, hi, my name is Mark, your conscious brain is speaking, and that can process about 2,000 bits of information per second. Pretty cool, right? Well, our subconscious mind, the mind that we're not aware of, can process 4 billion bits of information per second. Now remember, when was that subconscious mind created and formulated? Age 0 to 7. So who's really running the show, okay? But we can use our brain to create a pulling power. And what I really like about this, especially for my business, the people, see, I'm a coach and a player. The only way I become successful in what I do is to help other people become successful, and I work with a volunteer army. Not easy, okay? But what we can do, and all of you, we only have so much time in a day, and all of you aren't that much different from me. We're looking for people to give value to. We're looking for new customers, new clients, maybe new business development partners. We're looking for people, and we only have so much time during the day. If we use this reticular activating system the right way, it'll create a pulling power and bring the people into your life that you're looking for. How many of you not want to waste time anymore with people that really don't want your services? Okay, so we have to get clear on who it is we're looking for, what our goals are, and what it is we really want. So this system helps us be alert. So get this. At any given moment, we are aware of only 12% of what's actually happening. The reticular activating system is locked into 12%. So right now you're listening to me, you might hear the buzzing in the background, but there's a lot more happening. There's 88% right now happening that we are not aware of. So what you need to do to get to the next level in 2020 is you need to lock in your goals and focus on everything you want and forget about everything you don't want. Now you may be asking, what do I really want? That's a deep question. To make that answer easy, just look at your life right now and figure out what it is you don't want right now and choose the opposite. That's what you want. And so if you can get really clear on the goals, who is it that you're looking to work with? Who is that next client of yours that's the ideal person? And get very clear on who it is you're looking for, and on a day-to-day basis, what those thoughts are tuned into. The 12% is going to start noticing the right situations, the right people, more positivity in your life. All of a sudden, you start becoming a responder and not a reactor because you're aware. So utilizing this is something that my husband and I have done for a very long time so that we can get very clear and be very efficient and maximize every day. And I'll show you how you can activate that RAS system here in a few minutes. Now, many of us are aware of personal development 1.0. How many of you are like, okay, I'm becoming self-aware, I've been working on that, I notice when my thoughts start to get negative, I notice when I start to get angry or irritated or fear starts taking in, that's self-awareness. We recognize, how many of you are working on this, where it's like, hey, look, I'm working on this. Like, I've been working on this for a while. And if you need to go back to the basics, I think the basics are always a great place to revisit. And for those of you watching this or here tonight, if you're like, I just need to get started, I need some personal development in my life, start becoming more self-aware. When you can catch your mind going down the negative path, you can flip it. And it's not very hard to do because you simply just start thinking about what you're grateful for. So when someone cuts you off in traffic and you're having an awesome day and you don't want it to ruin the entire day and you don't want to tell everybody you see from then on that some jerk cut you off in traffic, start thinking about what it is you're grateful for. And I have a little saying to remind me to do this, because trust me, I'm human and I do the same thing, and that is, that's a first world problem. When those little things, I'm like, okay, that's a first world problem. And I start to think about what I'm grateful for because we live in such an amazing country. And then the last thing is uncovering limiting beliefs. How many of you go, I know what my limiting beliefs are. I know that I have a belief because I heard when I was little that money doesn't grow on trees and money is evil. And maybe you had a parent who was an entrepreneur that struggled. So you have this deep belief thinking that you have to struggle to be an entrepreneur. See, it's kind of fun when you go back and go, oh, now I know where I picked up these beliefs that aren't even mine, that aren't serving me from. So that's personal development 1.0. But what I want to give you, this is really the meat and potatoes, and this is how we make the change and how we get to the next level. Because if we've never been there, our neurology is wired to keep us where we're at, to keep us safe. Don't go into the unknown. You might get eaten by a tiger. Okay, that is our wiring, and that's how our brain was designed so that we could be here today from thousands of years ago. So personal development 2.0, this is all about what state are you living from? What kind of mindset are you living from that's creating the feeling? The magic is in how you feel, not just how you think. So if you're coming from a powerful state, if you're out there meeting with clients, you're calling prospects, you're doing the things you do from a powerful state, you're working out of a state of joy. You are working out a state of abundance, passion. You're healthy, you feel good, you have energy. The minute you slip into a state that isn't powerful, and you can label this whatever you want, I like to call it the primal state, now you're slipping into fear mode. Anger, frustration, fear, lack of abundance, all those things that keep us, can you see how it'd be pretty hard to create that big goal that you're working towards, that breakthrough, if you're living in a primal state? And the thing is you can't be in two states at once. You can only be in one or the other. So you use your awareness to realize when you start creating and responding from a negative state or a primal state or a fearful state, and you can flip it over to a powerful state. And again, that all comes to feelings. Our feelings really are our guide, and how we can really attract the right type of people is through our feelings. So I want to show you as we wrap this up some proof that this works, and I will use myself as an example. I like to make fun of myself. You can make fun of me too. But here's some proof, okay? So in 2004, I had the aha of, oh, life doesn't happen to me. See, I was really good at playing victim. Life happens through me. And I started learning the 1.0. And someone said, you need to do a vision board. So I started believing I could actually do the things I wanted to do and not just settle for this'll give me a decent life, right? I really had that dream of being an entrepreneur. So again, you can laugh. I was 23 years old when I did my first vision board, okay? So you've got some really materialistic things on here. But it was a start. okay? Then a lot of those things I attracted and created. Then I did my next one when I was about 30. So now life had a lot more meaning. And it's pretty cool because you see that I have a house there, a red house in the upper left-hand corner. That's the house. Well, in 2015, my husband and I bought the house on the right side. So again, you have the visual, you create it. Thank you. And you know what? I'm not talking about action and strategy and massive action tonight. That's a whole other side of the coin. But to show you that you can actually, whatever your mind can conceive and believe, you can achieve. And the belief is the missing link for most of the people that we work with. They want all these things in their life. They want happiness, but they have a belief that is always, always, always untrue that's holding them back. So for you, as you look at your goals in 2020 and over the next decade, what belief do you have that is 100% untrue that you can change and diffuse? So the last things I'll lead you with is you can decide to believe something new at any time. You can decide. You can decide that money doesn't have to be hard to make, okay? Use that reticular activating system and live from your powerful mindset. Just get to 51% of the time. Get an accountability partner. My husband and I do it all the time. Someone you trust, someone who can call you out so that you can start becoming aware and retrain your mindset. Because I truly believe that entrepreneurs are going to help save the country, save the world. And again, you've got people in your life that are watching you. They may be young, they may be older, they may be your neighbors, but we can set an example to help people break through so that they can get to the next level too. Thank you so much for having me tonight.